Welcome back in here into the Chatterbox studio, and we are live, and I am sitting now next to my good friend, Reid Maus. Reid, you're going to be a regular here on the third segment of this show, and it is just an absolute delight to have you sitting next to me.
Are we friends?
I think we're friends.
I don't know if we ever got to that point.
Did we?
I mean, we've never addressed like what we are.
We didn't establish what we were.
No, not at all. But we're here regardless.
Well, regardless, you know what you can do if you want to establish that we're friends, you can give me some winners. And
winners.
Reid, before he walked into this studio, told me that he had some winners for me. Mm-hmm. Now, Reid, as the mayor of Hamilton, Ohio.
It's Pat Moeller, but I'm gunning for the spot.
Are you launching your candidacy here?
Well, the last guy who ran against him I think Pat Moeller got like 30,000 votes, and the guy who he ran against got like 100. So
okay.
So yeah,
all right. I
got to do better.
All right. Reid, let's get into some winners here. Let's roll off the top. Casey, can you hear Reid?
I can hear.
You can hear Reid? Okay, I'm having a little trouble.
Yeah, I can't hear myself. But
okay. Oh, there we go. Now I can hear Reid.
Baby, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Is Brandon over there? Is
Brandon Seho? Can you see us over there? There's Brandon.
Well,
there's Brandon.
He doesn't even
Oh, okay.
Well, good.
Yeah, he's just going to have to scream if he wants to say anything.
It'll muddy up the waters anyways. Well, what do you want to talk about?
All right, Reid. You know what?
Show.
All right, let's get back to the show here. Let's get right into some winners. What do you have for me?
So you want winners. I don't know if I'll have that. I like to gamble more than I like to win.
Okay.
So that's where
we
we're
always
at.
gamble responsibly.
Right, absolutely. But, let's talk about tonight's game. Let's go ahead and let's get
right into it. I do have a pick for tonight's game.
So, one thing that I'm looking at, you talk about the Chargers, you talk about the Chiefs, big game. The Chargers defensive line, right?
Okay.
Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, they're going to be bringing a lot of pressure towards Patrick Mahomes. I know they look so good. But you know what I really like? I like Clyde Edwards-Helaire getting rushing and receiving over 66. I know that's a somewhat big number.
Okay.
But it's a combination because here's what I think they're going to do.
Okay.
To combat the pressure that they're going to be getting on the edge, they're going to be running it up the middle, and they're going to be checking down to their running back. Okay. He had, I think, a combined 80 rushing and receiving yards in week 1. I think he's going to be a big part of this. So I like him over 66.5. I like about 1 unit there.
1 unit?
1 unit.
All right, 1 unit. I am also going to go the rushing route, which I don't know if that means it's a good thing or a bad thing that, Reid, you and I both tonight will be texting about how much ground the Chiefs are going to be gaining on the ground. But I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes. He only ran for 5 yards in week 1. But I sort of tend to think the same thing as you, Reid, where maybe he gets flushed. Maybe things open
out of the
up.
Pocket.
Maybe he gets flushed out of the pocket. He's got to scramble. He's got to make things happen with his feet. And the more you scramble, the more you start to see opportunity that maybe you hadn't seen if you had to be that true, typical, prototypical pocket passer. So I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes over 16.5 rushing yards. It's sitting at minus 130 right now. All of these lines that you are seeing, whether it's down here at the bottom of the screen or whether it's right there in the middle of the screen is the lower third, those are all DraftKings sportsbook numbers. Yeah. You may be able to get them a little bit different here and there as far as all the different books go. But that is a DraftKings number, over 16.5. That was live as of a few minutes ago. So over 16.5. The one other thing I'm going to say is I'm looking at the YouTube chat right now. I see Tyler Smith putting in there that he's taking Purdue plus 1.5. Sean Spurlock, one of the co-founders here of Chatterbox, he's taking Cal. I think they're plus 11 against Notre Dame. That's one where maybe Notre Dame.
They gotta wake up at some point. Right?
I think Marcus Freeman, and you're gonna probably have Drew Pine in there because Tyler Buckner got hurt this past weekend. Buckner's out for the season. Drew Pine's gonna be the starting quarterback now for Notre Dame. Eventually, they're gonna right the ship. Eventually, they're gonna get a win, and my guess is they're probably gonna get a win in a big way, as 11-point favorites this weekend. Cal, though, for Sean is the bet for him to lock that in. So, again, I am looking for a pick out of the chat. A pick out of the chat that we are going to collectively well, I don't want to speak for everybody else. I will take that bet, whatever the chat gives us, and we'll establish that before we go off the air. All right, Reid, what else you got for me?
All right, I got a few other picks.
Oh, just
for tonight.
We got a few. Everything for tonight.
I'm a gambler by day. You got to win something or lose something to see where you should put it on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
You got to get something in the bank or whatnot. So, another look I'm looking at for tonight. I like the Chargers +4. I do.
Okay.
I like them.
You're high on the Chargers.
I do.
You're very high on the Chargers.
Yeah. They've got a great defense. They got Justin Herbert. They were a good team last year. They didn't show up every week. But last year, we talked about this in Tom Brenneman's show. Last year, they won in Arrowhead.
Okay.
Why not do it again off of the big win that the Chiefs had in week 1? So let's do it again. Thursday Night Football. Justin Herbert, kind of a coming out party for him. Not that he's been like quiet for the past 2 years, but kind of like.
Think he's better than Joe Burrow?
I think he's more talented. I think Joe Burrow wins a little bit more just because he has.
Boo.
We've got Casey over there.
Boo. Yeah, Casey. Yeah, well, he's got the Joe Burrow jersey behind him, too, and that's a tough thing to say on Cincinnati. You're not really endearing yourself into the Cincinnati area podcast listeners here.
Well, until Justin Herbert turns the ball over 5 times in week 1, I'm still a little stung about that one. That one stunk. But, another one, and you called me crazy because we talked about this earlier. I like the under.
Well, no. I don't think it's crazy because
54 and a half.
That's a lot. No. What I said was crazy because I said 50. Well, it's 54 right now. 54
okay,
is
so
the 50,
money's getting on the under.
So the money, yeah. So the Chargers and the Chiefs right now, the total is sitting at 54. Here's the thing, and I said this to you earlier.
I'm locked in.
Do you want to be the guy that bet the under in this game? Like, Patrick Mahomes just threw for 5 touchdowns.
So, yeah, you're right. That is the crazy thing. Like, I'm going to take the under on 2 of the most potent offenses in the league.
You just sold me on Justin Herbert. I'm already sold on Patrick Mahomes. And now you're going to sell me on the under.
I like this under so much.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. You told us about PointsBet and what they do.
I did.
Look, we were looking at all the different sports books, and he was telling me, gimmicks that they do in PointsBet. Obviously, I liken it to options trading in a way.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is. You wager however much, and by each point that you either win or lose by, that multiplies your bet. And I liked this. So I was like, I might test the waters on this whole PointsBet thing and take the under. But then I just imagined a world in which they go to OT, similar to the Bills Chiefs game in the postseason last year, where they're just running up and down the field. And next thing you know, I'm losing hundreds and hundreds of dollars just because I like the under, and a game got a little bit out of hand.
So you're taking the under in this?
I will not talk about a bet that I won't take here on this show. So I'm taking all 3 of those. I'm taking the over on the reception. I'm taking the Chargers +4. I'm taking the under.
Oh, it's Chargers +4. Okay.
And then I'm taking Clyde Edwards.
So you are putting your money where your mouth is on Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Which, God, the problem though is if you're going to talk about Justin Herbert, they didn't make the postseason last year, so then you have to adjust your expectations coming into this year because all we ever heard is how good they are. And now coming into this year, after not making the postseason last year and coming very close to doing that, now you have a chance to prove it.
Listen, you get 2 options
at Arrowhead.
Here.
I want you to remember that. This is at Arrowhead,
and they won there last year. Yeah. So do it again. Run it back.
Okay.
Run it back for 6.
All right. Anything else that you have for me off of those 3 winners?
All right. You want it? Well, those are what they are. But the winners. No, the winner that I have.
Those weren't winners?
Those are just my picks. Those are just.
Okay.
If you wanted a winner.
All right.
If you want a winner.
All right.
You ready for this?
All right. Yeah.
It's the Ducks. It's the Ducks on Saturday.
Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon. We just listened to Tim Murray.
Yeah.
He is very high on the Ducks. They were at 3.5.
3.5 is what I'm going to get. What I got. And I like them -3.5.
I mean, if you're so high on them, you might as well just buy them up to 6.5. Just call it a day.
No. We don't. Tim actually made a really good point about buying points.
Yeah, no. That's why I had him on.
Right. He's good. He's good. Better than me. Yeah. But the Ducks. Perception is so much in this sport, especially gambling, right?
Yep.
And when you come on first week and play maybe the best team in college football and just get railed. Like you're just blown off the tracks like the Ducks did. Perception's really low.
Yeah.
Really low. And there was a lot of talk about, who's going to win the Pac-12 this year. And they threw all these names out. Utah, Oregon, USC, BYU, right?
Yeah.
And
you're still buying the Ducks.
I'm taking the Ducks because I think that they just, they played the toughest team in college football in their home, that team's home state, Georgia's home state. On the road, Bo Nix, first game, And here we go. Bring it back. I like him a lot. That's a 2-unit for me.
A 2-unit play for Reid Maus for the Ducks at home.
So like $8.
Okay. Again, responsible gaming here on Not Too Picky. Let's go through. What do you have anything else for me?
That's it.
That's it. So
those are all the picks I got for you.
Okay, so you have 3 picks and
tonight.
a winner.
3 picks
Is that
and a
how
winner.
you're always going to do this when you come on? Reed's going to be a regular on this first segment of the show. Are you going to have picks and winners, or are you just going to have?
It's gonna. I mean, you know me. It's gonna be different every time. We'll be.
I do know you.
We'll be flying by the seat of our pants through most of this show.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Case. Yes, go ahead.
I do want to talk to you about something. You know,
Okay.
you talked a good deal about baseball earlier in this show.
I did. I love baseball.
Albert Pujols, you said that you wish you would have taken him
I
to hit
wish
700.
I would have taken him to hit 700 home runs.
So
Yes.
how badly do you want him to hit 700?
How badly do I want him to do
Like
it?
you want it as a baseball fan.
As a baseball fan, I'd like to see Albert hit 700. I'm indifferent to what if he gets there. I'll watch it and I'll be like, that's really cool. If he doesn't get there, I will fall asleep and be fine.
You'll be good. Well, I'll say this: if you really are invested into him getting 700, hedge the heart a little bit. I think you can get plus 130 on him not to do it. On him not to get 700.
Okay.
Hedge that heart just a little bit.
No, I don't want to be that guy. That's negativity.
Hedge the heart, and that way, I mean, it's a win-win. You either get to see 700, and you were talking about how we're not going to see another guy hit 700 for some time. There's only been 3 guys to do it ever. So, like, don't act like it's happening all the time, and there's, like, guys in the pipeline.
Yeah, you're right. But if you look like back in the early 2000s, you could have looked at a guy that was young who was on pace early in his career, like Albert, or at the time, you could have looked at a guy like maybe Miguel Cabrera a little bit, but he was a
30 home run guy.
Yeah, he was never really on the but like
A-Rod
like
was
Marlins Cabrera, like
A-Rod hit 500 home runs before he turned 30.
Well, he was on pace, and then
they made him retire. They made him retire
4 short and 7 years ago. Yeah. So
Lincoln.
Yeah, your favorite president, right? Well, behind Alexander Hamilton.
Yes, and Benny Franklin.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm on the train with Albert where if he gets it, cool, and if he doesn't, I'm not losing any sleep over it.
I will just say thank you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you?
Yeah, just for at least getting my name right. The Reid Maus. Tom, if you're watching this, I filled in to produce the show earlier, and he called me Ryan.
Ryan Maus? Well,
Ryan Maus. Close. I mean, he got the,
I was thinking about just putting Ryan up there as the lower third and just rolling with that. You could do it as an A-list. See, when you win, you're Reid, and when you lose, you're Ryan.
I'm cool with that.
I think that's the point.
There it is.
There it is, Ryan.
Maus. Well, no, we don't want that up now, Casey, because we don't know if he's won or not. We don't know if he's won. We don't know if he's... All right. We are getting in here toward the end of the show, and we got to decide on a group bet. I haven't seen... If I can go back in this chat and find one pick that's been picked twice, that's going to be our pick. So Rick Broering says, Moneyline, UC, Georgia, Iowa State, Notre Dame, Memphis, and Texas. Oh, I'm assuming he means that on a parlay. Because...
What's your take on parlays?
On parlays?
Yeah.
I mean, they're a lottery ticket. We'll get into more. I didn't talk about this at the top of the show, but one of the things I am going to do on this show is like a sports betting 101 series. So once every week, 2 weeks, however often it comes up. With sports gambling launching in Ohio on January 1st, it's going to go live at midnight. There's going to be 25 different ways to bet on your phone. There's going to be mobile sports books. There's going to be physical sports books. You're going to be able to go to bars that have kiosks. And now there's a maximum that you're going to be able to bet per week, but you're still going to be able to go to bars. You're going to be able to go to Kroger. You're going to love going to Kroger.
Kroger's going to be. I'm going to pick up my tickets for the what's the Festival of Lights from the zoo, and then get a little parlay. Kings Island, do it all.
Kings Island, Festival of Lights.
Get 2 avocados and some oat milk.
What?
Kroger.
Oat milk?
Yeah.
Why?
It's more wife gets.
Oh, okay. That's the right.
It's not like almond milk. It's just oat milk.
So you're gonna be able to do all
milk them oats.
So we're gonna be milking you for winners. So we're gonna be looking at all of this stuff that's gonna be happening in Ohio on January 1st. So casinos, bars, grocery stores, and then also the mobile sports books. And with all of that launching, you're going to be thinking to yourself, oh my goodness, I'm overwhelmed. What do I do? I've never placed a bet before, but these guys are talking about it, and I see the lines all over the place. I don't know what minus 110 means. I don't know what plus 110 means. There will be episodes that explain all of that. I'll bring on an MLB expert. I'll bring on a college basketball. I'll bring on sports-specific people to talk about each sport, to break it down to trends, what to look for, what not to look for, what's important, what's not important. Have conversations about that because I think it's important. If you're gonna risk your money,
sure.
If you're gonna risk your money, if you're gonna work all day, if you're gonna work for the man all day, and then you're gonna decide that I'm gonna trust my money in the hands of 19-year-olds going out there on the field, at least do it in a smart way, and that's what we're trying to help you with here on Not Too Picky.
Casey, have you ever placed a bet ever?
Oh, don't put him on the spot. His dad's listening to this.
Hey, I have never actually placed a bet because it's not legal in Ohio.
There you go.
There's the right answer.
That's the right answer.
That's the right answer.
There's the right answer.
That is
He seemed a little facetious, though, I'll tell you. I think he knows his dad's watching.
But I will say this. As soon as January 1st
Ooh.
hits, you might see some bets on my
Little
head.
sprinkle.
Little sprinkle.
All right. Okay, so so that's something that we are going to do. We're going to do that as like an educational opportunity for sports betting as this goes along, but that'll be down the line. Okay, let's take a look here. Let's take a look at the chat, Reid. Let's see if there's anything that's been put in here twice, and we'll take that. I see a lot of different picks. I see Nevada covering 23.5 against Iowa.
I suggested Toledo money line, and no one got on board with that.
Toledo, Ohio State?
Yeah.
Okay, good pick. They don't even offer the money line, so that's a good pick. Purdue 1.5. Tyler Smith. Purdue.
They've got to offer it for the dog.
No, or at least not on DraftKings, dude. It's like a 40-point line. I didn't. What is the line on Ohio State this weekend? Play guess that line. No, don't look. What is it?
32.
32.
32.
32. No. Okay. Chicago Deli Review. Arkansas State plus 14. Lions from John Gowie minus 1.5. Rick Broering, Bengals team total over 24.5. I don't hate over 24.5 for the Bengals this weekend against the Cowboys. I mean, look at what they did this last weekend when they turned the ball over five times. So you have to assume that Joe Burrow is now out of the preseason and is going to have a better opportunity to put points on the board. I think we just need to make an executive decision here on our group bet for this weekend's football affairs. And what are we going to say? Let's pick one here, Reid. You're with me. You'll be with me on this. Let's pick one.
I like the Bengals over.
I like the Bengals one too.
Bengals team total over 24.5.
I think that's what we should do.
All right, we don't have a graphic for it yet, but we're going to lock it in. I have
minus 110.
Oh, yeah, good point. Let's take a look here. Bengals. And while we do this, I do have one other pick.
Yep, we got one more.
We got one other pick. I couldn't do my first show.
Oh gosh.
I couldn't do a first show. You've given a winner. Tim Murray's given me a winner.
Yeah, I need winners.
I've talked about. I couldn't do my first show and not give a game. So we're going to give a game right now before we finish off the Bengals. Western Kentucky going to Indiana. This is going to be at 12 o'clock on the Big Ten Network. Western Kentucky 2-0. Indiana, they were dicey. I think they played Idaho, and they danced around, got the win. Indiana 6.5-point favorites. Western Kentucky, D2 transfer quarterback, lights it up through the air. Indiana isn't what they were.
What were they?
They were respectable in the Big Ten. They were not a question of whether, at least in the last 2 years, whether this was going to be a pick or not in a game like this. Right now, this is 6.5, and I'm taking Western Kentucky. I'm taking the Hilltoppers on Saturday at Indiana. That is my pick here to start off this show. Western Kentucky plus 6.5.
Is Mike White still there?
The more and more Reid Maus is on this show, the more and more you're going to learn about the trials, tribulations, and successes
It's tough.
the career of Mike White. Look at that. Look at that. Western Kentucky. Flash it up on the screen. It's highlighted
Casey
green.
worked on that for 3 hours.
Casey loves that highlighted green.
It looks good.
Listen.
It's in the money.
That graphic right there only really took like 5 minutes, but I couldn't decide how I wanted that thing to look. So I spent like maybe 3 or 4 hours. You guys know how long it took, but inevitably it looks good.
Was the
I think that's
now let's ask. Let's ask.
Casey a round of applause for all his hard work.
Is the juice worth the squeeze, Casey? Was the juice worth the squeeze?
Well,
I 100% think the juice was worth the squeeze on
yes,
this, guys.
Yes, it looks great.
That is the not too picky pick right there of the day.
Look, we have on this show plenty of opportunities to make picks throughout the next decade that this show is going to run.
At least 15 years.
At least 15 years.
Until someone hits 700 home runs.
Until we will do this show. You can mark it right now. Reid and I and Casey and Brandon and Trace, we will go to our grave with this show being produced.
Until
somebody hits 700 home runs in their career.
I hope Albert doesn't do it in the next 2 weeks.
And then it'd be a short-lived show.
It'd be good.
If Albert Pujols hits 700
work on the next
home runs,
project.
This was the quickest show ever produced. Podcast form.
I mean, it didn't get picked up for the second season.
Okay, everybody, we've rambled on long enough. Thank you all for watching. Western Kentucky over to cover against Indiana. That's Reid Maus. I'm Paul Fritschner. Brandon Sejo's over there. Casey McAllister is over there. We will be back on Monday to recap the weekend. We'll talk more about some of the midweek games for next week in college football. We'll talk about the winners and losers from our picks this weekend. The Bengals over 24.5 team total. That is the chat's pick for this weekend.